welcome. Let's jump right into a topic that affects every single one of us: how easily our brains get fooled by what we hear. We like to think our ears are these perfect, high-fidelity microphones, right? But the truth is, they're not. They're part of a system that's way more complex and honestly, way more likely to mess things up.
I mean, come on, you've been there. You swear you heard someone say one thing, and they just stare back at you, totally baffled, and go, that's not even close to what I said. It happens to the best of us, and today we're going to figure out exactly why.
So get this. Here's a classic, maybe legendary example from World War I. A message comes down a crackly, staticky phone line. What was said was, send reinforcements, we're going to advance. A life or death situation. But what the guy on the other end heard was, send 3 and 4 pence, we're going to a dance. It's just the perfect example of how one tiny slip of the ear can change literally everything.
Okay, so enough talk. Let's put your ears to the test. We're going to do a little challenge taken right from our source material. I'm going to act out a really short dialogue for you, so listen up. Okay, ready? Here we go. First person says, I've never had this type of fruit before. I don't even know what to do with it. And the second person replies, you just have to peel it and eat it. All right, so based on that exchange, the question is, what does the woman mean? Let's look at the options. Is it A, she doesn't feel like eating fruit? B, the man should take the pill before eating? C, the fruit shouldn't be eaten until it's been peeled? Or D, she isn't familiar with this type of fruit either? Take a second. What do you think?
And the correct answer is A. Now, I know, you're probably thinking, wait, what? How is that possible? And yeah, this is designed to be tricky. Here's the secret. It's not about what she said, it's about what the man heard. When she said peel it, his brain in a split second heard feel it, which makes zero sense. So he's confused, thinking she's suddenly talking about not feeling like eating. That's why A is the right answer. It reflects his complete misunderstanding of what she meant.
And this right here is the trap in a nutshell. The whole problem comes down to these words that sound almost identical. You have peel, which is what was actually said. You have pill, which was one of the tricky wrong answers. And then you have feel, which is what the guy's brain probably latched onto. His brain heard that fuzzy sound, grabbed the wrong meaning, and poof, total confusion.
So why does this happen so darn easily? Well, it's not really an ear problem, it's a brain problem. See, our brains are all about efficiency. They love to take shortcuts. And these sound traps are the perfect opportunity for your brain to get a little bit lazy. Let's break down the 3 main ways this happens.
So, according to our source material, there are 3 main culprits. Think of them as the big 3 sound traps. You've got minimal pairs, words that sound alike, and words within words. Once you know how to spot these, you're going to be a much, much better listener. First up, we have minimal pairs. Now, that's a fancy term for something pretty simple. These are like evil twin words. They sound almost exactly the same, but they're different by just one tiny little sound, like the difference between a P and an F sound. And here are some perfect examples. We already saw peel and pill in our quiz, but think about lake and like, or point and paint. That one tiny change in sound completely flips the meaning of an entire sentence. It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Okay, trap number 2 is what happens when words just melt into each other. Because let's be honest, when we talk in a real conversation, we don't put neat little spaces between our words. We all flow and blend together. And sometimes 2 or 3 words can end up sounding exactly like one completely different word.
For example, if I say market really fast, market, it sounds just like market. Or how about I sent her a package? Center sounds just like center, as in downtown center. This kind of thing is a massive source of everyday mix-ups. And our third and final trap is called words within words. This is another one of those brain shortcuts. Your brain hears a big, long word, and instead of taking the time to process the whole thing, it just zeroes in on a smaller, familiar word that it recognizes inside, and it runs with the wrong idea. So, for example, in a word like imagination, your brain might just snag on the word nation, or inside the word remind, it just hears mind. In forgive, it latches on to give. And just like that, you are on a completely different conversational path than the person you're talking to.
Okay, so we've pretty much established that our brains are wired to be tricked. It's a setup. So what do we do about it? How do we fight back and actually become better listeners? Well, lucky for us, we have a secret weapon, a really, really powerful one. And this is it, the single most important takeaway.
The answer is context. It's not about having superhuman hearing. It's about being a detective and using all the other words in the sentence, the story around the tricky word, to figure out what makes the most logical sense.
Here's a perfect example of how this works. The sentence is, she went to the blank with her friend. Now, your ear might hear the sound center, but ask yourself, does she went to the center with her friend make any sense at all? No, of course not. But what about she went to the center with her friend? Boom, perfect sense. The context solves the puzzle for you.
So let's zoom out for a second, because this is so much bigger than just acing a listening test. This is a fundamental skill for just getting by in the world. It's all about listening smarter, not just trying to hear harder. Think about it. Really getting this principle can improve how you communicate at your job. It can deepen your relationships with your friends and family. It can just cut down on all that friction from constant misunderstandings. It's about getting to what people actually mean. So if you only take 3 things away from all this, make it these. Number 1, just accept that your brain is always looking for shortcuts with sound. Number 2, start to recognize these common traps when you hear them. And number 3, the most important one, context is your superpower. Use it all the time. And I'll just leave you with this final thought. Now that you know what to listen for, what conversations in your own life are you mishearing every single day? At work? At home? What important piece of meaning have you been missing all this time? Something to think about. Thanks for listening. And I mean really listening.